Welcome to the worst guide ever for Juggernaut and Mortal Tanking. Alright, let's look at your tree real quick. Level 23, Aegis Assault, grants a barrier of protection to up to 8 allies within 10 meters for 6 seconds. This is amazing. It'll increase your damage reduction as well. So this is not for just you, it's for your friends as well. And also at level 43, pick this one. It will dealing direct damage with two taunted targets, generates 1 rage. This effect cannot occur more than every once per second. Also, it doesn't show it here, but also if you deal damage to taunted targets, you also heal yourself for a % of your health. I think it's 1% of your health. It will heal you. So you're healing yourself and generating rage. Okay. Let's look at your gear. So your gear, do not pass go, do not collect $100. Collect the Retaliator package. That's 200, isn't it? Yeah, $200. Anyway, Retaliator package. That's the way to go. There are other options, but you must get the Retaliator package no matter how you're building this class. Use the Retaliator package. Retaliation then has no cooldown. Let's talk about Retaliation really quick. Retaliation, anytime something misses, to put it very shortly, very quickly, if something misses you or you miss something, Retaliation will be available to hit. So you can hit it on cooldown, and that helps because if you're taunting targets, you will also be healing yourself. You will be getting rage filled, and you will be infinitely spamming that Retaliation. Now let's talk about your damage reduction. If you notice, this class has, well, actually, if you're naked, you will still have a high amount of accuracy. In fact, you will have max accuracy at a 111%. You don't need more than that. Nothing ever will miss. You'll have 110, 111, depending on how you've done your stories. You'll probably have 110 or 111. Doesn't matter about datacrons or anything like that. Okay, so let's look at your damage reduction. Notice your damage reduction starts at 47%. If you have the force resistance package not on, then your damage reduction goes a little bit down to about 44%. So that's the difference there. So you don't have to run that one. It'll give you a little bit of damage reduction specifically to elemental and internal damage. So let's look at your damage reduction with a Leviathan side. If you put a Leviathan side on, you increase your damage reduction for everything you hit by 2.5%. That means you very quickly will jump your already high damage reduction much higher very quickly. In addition, if you smack an Aegis Assault, you will do an additional damage reduction. In addition, if you're using a Leviathan's Hide, you hit more targets. The more targets you hit, the higher damage reduction goes. So let's see how that works. Everybody come look at me. Hi, here I am. So let's go to the character sheet, damage reduction. Notice your damage reduction is sitting at 47%. Now hit all 3 targets. It is now 65%. So you've increased your damage reduction quite greatly if there are adds around and you're using the Leviathan's Hide tactical, though you do not have to. And if you're not attacking adds, then Grit Teeth is going to be better. And in most cases, Grit Teeth will be better if the fight is longer. The longer the fight is, the better Grit Teeth is, which reduces your Saber Ward. Now, Saber Ward will reduce the cooldown, be reduced by taking hits, but the cooldown of it is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So let's say the fight you're fighting is only 1 minute long, like you beat a world boss in less than a minute. Then Grit Teeth is completely useless because you couldn't even use it more than once. Just keep that in mind. You may think about that. Now, if you're fighting a very long fight, Grit Teeth becomes better and better and better and better the longer the fight is. All right, let's look at how Retaliator package works. So what you can do is, as if something misses you, or you miss, that means Retaliate will be ready. That means you can do 1 million damage in 1 second. And let me show you how that works. So let's just start fighting here, buddy. Boom, send there's my Retaliate. Once something misses, now let me hit a Saber Ward. Every time I deflect something, every single time, there's Retaliate. So the more enemies are there, the more Retaliates are ready. Notice I hit a taunted target, I'm healing myself. Watch, I'm going to hit Endure Pain. It will increase my health. I'm going to hit a taunted target. Increases my health even more. 14k. Big, nice, big, fat, juicy heal there. Another heal there. So, it's very effective to use the self-healing. So now you're a self-healing tank. It's very important to use these moves in that combination. And that is a good Aegis Assault, Taunt, then a Crushing Blow. Gives you a nice high damage reduction. Even if you're not wearing Grit Teeth, Aegis Assault will give you damage reduction and then Retaliate on cooldown at all times. All right. Obviously, your defensives, you have a lot of them. You have your Saber Reflect, which we talked about on your tree. You can have pick what you like, but Mad Dash is going to be better. It's a 35-second cooldown, so it's like 3 times a minute as opposed to only once per minute. So it's obviously better. However, I'm lazy and I just use my Saber Reflect. You have the Endure Pain, which will increase your health. You have your Invincible, which will, it's just a generic damage reduction, so that's great. All damage taken reduced by 40%, so notice damage reduction normal, you pop that bad boy. Actually, you can't see it, but it does reduce it by quite a bit. So like you just taken almost no damage. You should just take like no damage. It's such a small amount of damage you take. And then your ranged defense, of course, will just heal you for every attack you hit. Sometimes it crits, and it's a percent healer too. So endure pain, and then it's a percent healer. All right, so there's one other way to play this class. This is with tank gear and all the tank stuff on. So let's check out this Legacy Bay here. Boom. Put a Legacy Bay out. And I'm going to use Legacy loadouts and switch out my gear. So I'm going to put healer gear on. Here, healer gear has no accuracy on it for me. And I'm going to switch out my second wind package so that every time I kill something, I do move faster, and you're very, very slow. So I move faster, and additionally, I get healed for 20% of my maximum health. So if my Endure is active, I get healed for even more. So let's find 3 enemies again, and you'll see the healing. And also, keep in mind that your damage reduction is still high. Even though I'm wearing DPS gear, you can see my stats are not that great as far as tanking goes, but my damage reduction is still pretty high. And so I'm going to put on a Leviathan's Hide here. And you'll see my damage reduction doesn't change. However, once I start hitting things, 44%. Let's jump in there. Everybody look at me. There it is, 65%. 65% damage reduction. So it becomes very, very effective when you have lots of ads around. You'll just start just smashing things. One thing you want to keep in mind is you never, ever, 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 ever want to wear a focus as a tank. Any kind of tank, you don't want to wear a generator or a focus because it's just a bad choice. It doesn't help you in any way. In this instance, you'll notice that I'm wearing an augmented 340, augmented and kitted out with critical. So I'm still wearing a shield. So you'll notice my shield chance is still 20%. Sorry, yeah, shield chance is 28%, and my shield absorption is 20%. But if I'm not wearing a shield, that is gone. You gotta have just a little bit on there. I mean, it's 20% is nothing. It's not really that amazing, but having it on there is better than having a focus, because that increase in damage that you're doing is just not that big a deal. You definitely want your extra little bit. And what else? I think that's all. And just so you know that this does work, I do have a video out there that you can duo Hive Queen with just this setup right here. Almost solo story. Almost solo with this particular setup. I don't have like min-max stats or anything like that. It's just I have the ephemeral mending because it's hilarious. You don't have to have ephemeral mending. It's just funny to have that. And anyway, that's all I got for you. Have fun out there shank tanking and tanking.